Yo, welcome. So today, the 23rd day of the month of Tammuz, and the 29th day of the month of July, and we learned the book of the Rambam, the Maimonides, and we finished laws that talk about giving gifts to the poor, and we talked about the laws of something called Tzedakah, which commonly translates as charity, which is the commandment to take care of people in need, specifically the poor people, and it says that a lot of important things about taking care of people in need and poor people. It says that one will never become poor from giving to other poor people, because it says that, other places say that the Creator will pay him back, but basically the Rambam says that nothing bad will ever happen to someone from giving to the poor people, and it says that the Jewish people will only be redeemed through tzedakah, through giving to those in need, because it says Zion will be redeemed with judgment, and the captives of Zion will be redeemed with tzedakah, with the commandment of giving charity. So basically the point is that the Messiah will come, which will usher in an era of eternal world peace, and the main catalyst of that, if that's the right word, is tzedakah, giving to those people in need. And then the Rambam goes into the different laws of the tzedakah, which is of different levels, so that one should give it with like a happy face, even if someone gives them a lot of money. If they don't have a happy face when they give it to them, then it doesn't really count. So the point is they should give to people in need and do it happily. And then right after that, those laws, the Rambam talks about the laws that apply to the land of Israel, which is interesting. Just my own thought, that really the Rambam says that through giving tzedakah, through giving charity, then the Jewish people will be redeemed. And then right after that, he goes into the laws that apply to the land of Israel, which is after the Jewish people will be redeemed. So it's interesting. But the point is, the Rambam goes into extensive detail about certain laws of the land that apply only to the land of Israel, about if someone has a field in the land of Israel, then they have to separate certain tithes of the field and give them to the priestly class or to other people, basically. But the point is that there's all these laws in the field. If they have a certain amount of crops in the land of Israel, they have to separate a certain amount. And then the Rambam goes into exactly what is the land of Israel in the first place. And then he says that any land that was conquered by a Jewish king with the permission of most of the Jewish people is considered part of the land of Israel, basically. And so that's the basic summary of the Rambam. This is the Maimonides, Rabbi Moshe, the son of Maimon. And the Lubavitcher Rebbe instituted a practice for all the Jewish people to learn a portion of the Rambam's book every day. The Rambam essentially took all of the teachings of the Talmud and he compiled them into a very concise, organized book of laws and made it accessible for everyone to be able to learn, both small and big alike. And it goes in through all the different laws of the Torah that the Creator gave to Moses at Mount Sinai. At Mount Sinai, the Creator gave to Moses not only the written Torah that the Jewish people read in the synagogues today, but he also gave Moshe the verbal explanation of the law. So Moshe wrote down the Torah scroll that the Creator told him, and also the Creator told him the explanation of the Torah at the same time that Moshe did not write down at first, but he taught other people, and then those people passed those teachings down by word of mouth for thousands of years until they wrote it down eventually in the Talmud. But the Talmud itself is not fully organized in a concise way that's able to be understood by everyone, so the Rambam essentially organized everything and made it really simple to understand. And if someone reads the book of the Rambam, then that essentially is grasping the entire Torah. So this is the book of the Rambam. Today's section of it talks about the laws of giving tzedakah, giving charity, and then afterwards we start a new section that goes into the laws of the land of Israel, about the tithes of the land, and then it goes into what land of Israel is. And this goes back to, this is not related to the Rambam, but just my own thoughts, that this goes back to the general idea of how the Jewish people have the eternal right to the land of Israel. In fact, that's mentioned in the very first verse of the written Torah itself, when it says, in the beginning, the Creator created the heavens and the earth. So, first of all, the word "in the beginning" really means, according to the commentary Rashi, it means for the sake of the beginning, because the word, grammatically speaking, that it's kind of difficult to say that the word means really in the beginning, as Rashi says, really means in the beginning of. So then, based on like certain things, Rashi says really the main explanation of the word in the beginning means for the sake of the beginning. So there's this thing called the beginning, and for the sake of that thing called the beginning, did the Creator make the heavens and the earth. And it says the beginning refers to collectively both the Torah, which is it says the Torah is the beginning of his way, of the Creator's way, whatever that means. The beginning of his path is the Torah, as it says in another verse. And it also says that the Jewish people are the beginning, because it says the Jewish people are holy unto the Creator, who are the beginning, and the Jewish people are the beginning of his planting. Like if someone starts planting something, the Jewish people are like the choicest and the beginning of his planting. So both the Torah and the Jewish people are called the beginning. So for the sake of the beginning, the Creator made the heavens and the earth. And then that goes into essentially the Jewish people's right to the land of Israel, because Rashi says that really the Torah maybe shouldn't have started with the creation of the world. Why does the Torah tell us the creation of the world, especially in the beginning? Because the word Torah means a book of laws. The word Torah actually literally means law, lesson. So it's actually meant to give practical instructions that are actually understood by people and not just tell us stories. The stories it does tell us are 100% true. That's a separate issue. But the purpose of the Torah is not to tell us stories, it's to tell us actual practical things to do. And the creation of the world, like what exactly is that trying to tell us to do? It's just like a story seemingly. And if it's trying to tell us, like somehow to explain to us how the creation is happening, it doesn't really explain it either, because it just says that he said stuff and then things were created. It doesn't really explain it. So maybe, according to some commentaries, maybe the entire part of the Torah that talks about creation, maybe that should have been given in a separate book. Maybe the Creator should have given like books of Kabbalah separately from the Torah, and then the Torah he should have just given just the laws. Like the narrative of the Torah should have only started when the Jewish people became a nation and started getting laws, according to Rashi, which is a lot later, after the entire book of Genesis and after the beginning of the book of Exodus, is when the Jewish people actually started getting commandments as a nation. So really, Rashi says that's when the Torah should have started. It should have started way later, when the Jewish people became a nation and started getting commandments. But why does the Torah need to tell us the creation of the world and all these other stories of like the flood and how the Creator like singled out like Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and all these stories of the forefathers and stuff? Like that's kind of extra. And this is from the Talmud, by the way. Rashi's just referencing it. So why does the Torah even begin with the beginning, with the creation of the world and all this other stuff in the book of Genesis? So Rashi actually explains that the only reason why the Torah begins with the creation of the world and all this other stuff in the book of Genesis is only in case the nations of the world would one day claim to the Jewish people and say, oh, you guys are thieves. You stole the land of Canaan from the Canaanites that were living there before. So you guys are like stealing stuff. And Rashi said no, because the Torah starts out, the very first thing is that the Creator created the heavens and the earth, which means all of the land that exists in the world belongs eternally to the Creator of the land, who created it from absolutely nothing at all. And since the Creator created all of the land from total nothing, and all of the land belongs to him, then the Creator has the right and the ability to give the land to whoever he wants, and he can also take it away from whoever he wants and give it to other people who want it. So the Creator essentially allowed the Canaanites to live in the land for a brief time, which was, by the way, only 440 years or so. And then later on, the Creator decided, rightfully, to take it away from the Canaanites and eternally give it to the people of Yisroel, to the Jewish people, forever. And that's the whole point of the book of Exodus, how after the creation of the world, the Creator singled out Abraham, and then Abraham, and then he promised the land of Israel to Abraham's descendants. And which descendants? Specifically Isaac, Yitzchak, and within Isaac itself, he appears to Jacob, but it says, to your descendants I will give this land only to the children of Jacob, to the children of Yisroel. And that's essentially the eternal right the Jewish people have to the land of Israel. So yeah, just letting you know.